So I've had several requests asking me how I navigate and know where different things are, and I've been wanting to do this video for a while and just didn't have the time, but got to the shelter today at 2 o'clock and I'm going to attempt to do this. It isn't necessarily the easiest thing to do, but first off, I use two resources. I use a paper guide called the AT Guide, which I'll show you here in a minute, and I use an app on my phone, and I use them in different ways. I don't know if I might have to use my other camera to show you what I do on the phone. We'll just see how this works. But the AT Guide, this is the cover of it. The AT Guide basically, I don't know how well you can see this, but it shows the line of the trail, and that's kind of an elevation profile. And then out from each one of these little event markers, like up here, let's see if I can do this, like up here, that little water drop means there's water. This thing means there's camping in a shelter, and a privy, the little moon is a privy. So you can look at this in a glance and you can kind of see what your next day is going to look like, where you have water resources available. Like, you know, we have it here on this particular day. I've already done this section, but we have it here, and then we have a iffy water source here, and then we have a water source over here. And then on the bottom here, you'll see there's miles in green and blue. Green is northbound mile marker from Springer Mountain, and blue is southbound mile marker from Mount Katahdin. So if you page on through, it just goes on and on and on. I've marked the nights where I've stayed, but then it also has information on the towns. Like here's information on Duncannon, Pennsylvania, which I've already been through, and here's one on Lickdale, PA, and they have phone numbers and all those kind of things. It's really helpful to know kind of the Port Clinton, which I stayed in. It's just really helpful. You can find eating places, laundromats, anything you might think would be care that you might want, pizza, and even they list things like shuttle drivers and that kind of thing. So this is a really good resource. Tonight I'm staying here at Kirkridge Shelter, which is at 1291.0. At 1290, I passed the 700 mile mark. So this guide, I don't carry the whole guide because it's big and heavy, but I carry about 500 miles at a time. And then if I get a resupply box, I tear off the pages and send them home so that it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So that is resource number one. The second resource, I'm going to try to do this on my other video camera and put these together, is an app on my phone called Far Out, which is really, really helpful. I can take screenshots, but I'd really love to show you some video what that does. So this is the app I have called Far Out, and I don't know how well you can see it, but there is near that little symbol, it looks like a lean-to, there's a little blue dot, and that tells me exactly where I'm at. So it has the center line of the Appalachian Trail, and it tells me where I'm at. And I use this an awful lot to determine whether I've made a wrong turn or not. If I'm on the red line, then I'm on the trail. If I'm not, then I got a problem. You also see some other symbols here, and I can scroll down. Well, didn't want to do that. I can scroll on up the trail, and you'll see symbols. There are little water droplets to denote water. So if you see down here, you see right here, there's a little water drop and it's half empty. That means it's unreliable, that it doesn't flow all the time. Well, the good news was today it was flowing. I got some water there. It wasn't a must-do, but I got some water there. Then if you click on the symbol, it will bring up comments, and people see, well, here, people will say comments about what they found. And the date that they found it. So it's really helpful if you're wanting to know if water is still running. If you're wanting to know if water is still running, you can check the comments. If you go on into town, like Delaware Water Gap, which is where I'm going, it has information on all kinds. You'll see, I don't know if it's real evident to you, but there's a whole bunch of little blobs down here in the city, and that tells you where you have shopping, and it has all kinds of things. The other thing I like about this app is that it gives you an elevation profile, and so I can see where I'm at, and if I look going forward on the trail, I can see what my elevation profile looks like. So it's rather flat until we start going downhill into Delaware Water Gap. Now that we're going from, on the right there's an elevation profile guide. I know this isn't very good, but anyway, an elevation profile guide. So we're going from like 1,500 feet down to 500 feet in Delaware Water Gap. So tomorrow, it looks like it's a fairly gradual thing over, let me see, 2 miles or so, we're going to lose 1,000 feet elevation. Then the next day, it cuts off here because this guide comes in sections, and the next section isn't loaded. But the next day we'll climb back up out of there. So I use this app an awful lot to know, to find out stuff about water, to see whether I'm on trail, to look at the elevation profile. I can, when I'm on trail, I can click on a spot. Where am I at here? When I'm on trail, it knows where I'm at, and I can click on this symbol, and it will tell me that is 1.9 miles ahead, ascent of 203 feet, and a descent of 374 feet. And this does this offline, so it doesn't require cell service for it. So you download the center line and all this information into your phone, and it just uses the GPS to do it, which is fantastic. So I've overlaid on top of it, I don't know if you can see it, but elevation profile, topo profile, so it helps me know what I'm getting into. And there are certain places, like I was at Wolf Rocks today, and let me bring that up. Wolf Rocks, and then it has a photo of out of Wolf Rocks, which is going to look very much like a photo I took. Shows you the view and some of those kind of things. It shows you shelters, what they look like in a brief description. So look at our shelter here. I want to see the photo. Well, having a little fun doing that, but anyway, it's in landscape mode, and it really prefers to be in portrait mode. So let's go back to Kirk Ridge Shelter. It will show us, you can scroll through however many pictures you want. It shows you the shelter, what it looks like inside, shows you the privy, and one more, it just doesn't want to trip. Shows you the water at the top of the hill, where there's a retreat center that's put a hydrant up here on the edge of their property and let hikers come up and get it. And then, I look at the comments down here, and so there aren't any recent comments, but it's really nice if there are recent comments that let you know how things are going. So this app is kind of indispensable to me. I daren't lose cell phone battery because I use it a lot. So those are the two things I use to navigate and help me know what resources are in town. It has information about hostels and shuttles and Between the two of them, it covers a lot of stuff. I have another guide that's officially put out by the ATC, but frankly, I haven't used it once on the trail. It's on my phone in a PDF format. And I have the AWOL guide, the AT guide, the paper map. I also have that on my phone in a PDF, so I can look at that way. But it's really nice sometimes having the paper to be able to jot and make notes on. So those are the two things I do. I use the AT guide probably more for planning, and then I use Far Out when I'm on the trail. Today I was going up over Wolf Rocks, and the blazing wasn't very good, and so I pulled it up to see, are you still on the red line? And it's pretty sensitive, so it'll show you right where you are. There was a couple of times back 3 or 4 days ago, I was hiking with this Amish family, mother, father, and son, and we came out to a road, and they just assumed we go up the road, and I pulled out Far Out and looked, and we weren't on the trail. The trail had turned before we got to the road, but the trail also continued on. So with the help of Far Out, we could go back and find the real AT, which is where we wanted to be.